Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and in episode Revenant of Destiny 2, we got a brand new Titan exotic armor that takes some time to get used to, but I've really enjoyed making a build around so that way I can maximize its effectiveness. And again, as I've been using this, I've just grown to enjoy it more and more over the course of time. Of course, the exotic armor is the Blastwave Striders, and they are very fun once you have the right setup. Now, I use these to chase down the brand new Rake Angle Glaive, which, quick PSA, you absolutely want to get if you don't have one already. It's available in this week's Nightfall, and you can get roles like Rhyme Stealer or Overflow and Chill Clip, and it is insane. And you can run triple glaives if you want to. I don't recommend that, but it is a very good weapon that is worth chasing down, even though glaives aren't in the best spot right now as a whole. As far as the build goes, I'm going to start off with the armor perk for Blastwave Striders. It says, gain resistance to your explosives. Defeat targets to charge this armor. Once charged, slide or deal explosive self-damage to rocket jump backwards and blast deadly shrapnel projectiles that spawn stasis crystals. On impact, charge rocket jumps grant frost armor. Now, I can use this one of two ways with this build. I am running full stasis, so I'll explain that part of it in just a second. But I'm also using the mountaintop, so I can deal explosive self-damage by launching myself into the air if I want. If you didn't know, the mountaintop allows you to rocket jump, and it's very fun. I do it all the time. And I highly recommend trying it for yourself if you have not already, because it is hilarious. Now, I combine this with the brand new Vantage Point Pulse Rifle with Jolting Feedback. I don't have a great roll on this, but if you didn't know, Jolting Feedback jolts targets by damaging them. So if you are on higher end content, if you have enemies that are a bit tankier, you can continue to just shoot them and eventually you will jolt them, which is very nice. Now, that's a new perk that I really enjoy using this season personally. I also tossed on the Parasite Grenade Launcher because it does insane damage and I needed a weapon to absolutely nuke enemies. I can not only use this to defeat bosses, but I can also use my Mountaintop as a backup, and the Mountaintop does a great job at destroying stasis crystals as well, which I'll explain why that's important in a second. As far as the build goes, the reason I did not go with Prismatic is I wanted these two aspects. Howl of the Storm, so when I slide, I activate your charge melee to launch the wave of stasis energy, which freezes targets and creates stasis crystals. And then it also activates the Blastwave Striders at the same time. So that's a 2-for-1, and it just nukes the area, which is hilarious. And then also Tectonic Harvest. So then shattering those stasis crystals or frozen targets gives me these stasis shards. When it's equipped, I get additional stacks of frost armor, which I can get from Blastwave Striders as well. So I want to lean into that aspect. I use the Glacier Grenade, even more stasis crystals, which is nice. And then the fragments. We've got conduction, so the shards track to my position. Rhyme, so that way I have frost armor maximized with max stat count and increased duration. Bonds, so that way frozen targets defeated grants me orbs of power. I'm going to do that quite a bit. And then finally, Whisper of Fissures, so increase the damage inside the burst of the stasis when you destroy a stasis crystal or a frozen target. Again, that's the whole goal. Freeze everything, destroy everything. So once you freeze the targets and then you shoot a crystal, for example, with your Mountaintop, it just absolutely destroys a lot. Then we've got the Brain Freeze as far as the artifact perk goes. This is very important. This will allow you to get that slow combatants if you are surrounded, which is nice. Then we've got Served Cold, so picking up the stasis shards grants you class ability energy. I'm not using my class ability all the time in this build, but it is nice to have on for sure to use in a pinch. And then we've got the Armor of Aramis, so that way I do the freezing burst whenever frost armor is active and I take critical damage. Hail the Storm. This one is tremendous. Because I'm destroying so many stasis crystals, this is what I want to boost with my volatile tonic, because I will release those ice shards that damage and slow a lot. And then we've got concussive reloads. That way, using either of my grenade launchers to damage a boss, a champion, or break combatant shields weakens them. This is especially important. This is why you want to use your Mountaintop on the boss first if you're playing solo to weaken them, and then switch to your Parasite before you absolutely nuke them. Crystalline Converter, so that way your next powered stasis melee hit creates stasis crystals equal to the number of stacks you have. Again, this counts the melee hit for the sliding one that you get as well, which is very, very nice. And then we've also got trace evidence. This is for the jolting feedback, so that way when you get the rapid final blows or precision hits on targets affected by jolt, so if you're getting those rapid precision hits on like a boss or a mini boss or something, you'll generate some ionic traces, some increased ability energy. Rapid impacts is also very nice. And then Fell the Revenant for increased score and damage. Then also you're going to want to toss on Unstoppable Pulse and then Overload Breach Loaded Grenade Launcher as well. Now, as far as the armor mods go, nothing too crazy here. It's pretty standard stuff as far as what I toss on. We've got Dynamo, Hands On, and then Powerful Friends or something like that is very nice. Impact Induction, and then the Arc Loader would be pretty effective here in order to reload faster with your Arc Pulse Rifle. Then we've got the resistance of your choice depending on the activity you're taking on, as well as Solar Reserves, and then Solar Weapon Surge, Better Already, and Innervation, and then finally Powerful Attraction, Distribution, and Reaper. Powerful Attraction is why you want to use your class ability as often as possible to try to suck up some of those orbs that you are generating, and you should be getting a lot of them. As far as the gameplay goes, the loop is pretty straightforward. You're going to lead with either a Glacial Grenade or maybe your Vantage Point or a Mountaintop even. And then once you start defeating enemies and getting them absolutely nuked, that's when you're going to have your Blastwave Striders charge up, use your melee, and just watch everything die. It is pretty funny. I was using it in not only the Haunted Forest, but also in the Nightfall, as well as some other content in the game, like Onslaught, and it was just very effective everywhere. I just, to be honest, wanted to change up the footage a little bit because I was running so much Onslaught for these builds that I feel like if you've seen my builds, it kind of gets repetitive. You know what they can do there, so that's why I wanted to toss on a different type of content for this video. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the build. Again, once you get the stacks up with the Parasite, you're going to do insane damage to bosses. And I do like how well-rounded this is. I have on my helmet for the Festival Mask for the Festival of Lost, because I am trying to get those candies as well. And I think farming right now is really at a really good spot in the game, because you can get the candy, you can get exotic class armors from Festival of Lost, you can get the brand new Stasis Glaive if you want to hunt for that. You can also get some of the weapons, the new one, the new twin shot shotgun from the Festival of Lost as well. So there's a lot to chase, and I think that's a good thing in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like the video, subscribe as always. My name is JoPa. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one, and I will catch you all later.